Hi, and welcome to the Fish Station. My name is Darian, and today I wanted to ask you, have you ever considered what exactly makes a fish a fish? Can you name 5 things that are traits of fish? Take a moment and think of everything you know about fish. What characteristics can you think of that are uniquely fishy? Maybe the first thing that comes to your mind is that fish have gills and can breathe underwater. And while this is true for many fish, there are actually exceptions to this rule. Did you know that lungfish, as it says in their name, have lungs, and they are able to breathe air and hold their breaths for long periods of time? Maybe you thought about how fish have fins, and while you're right that having fins really helps fish move around in their underwater environments, not all fish have fins. Hagfish, for example, are a really special fish. They do not have any fins, and what's even more crazy, they also don't have any jaws. They're called jawless fish, and they were some of the earliest fish to ever exist. Often, we think of fish as having scales. Fish that do have scales are all over the ocean, and scientists can use the size and shape of scales to identify which species of fish they came from. But again, there are exceptional fish which have no scales. One familiar to most people is catfish. These fish have smooth skin, which isn't covered by scales. So next time you go fishing and you catch a catfish, make sure to run your hand along its skin and feel that lack of scales. Maybe you knew that fish lay eggs, and you may have heard that fish build nests around their eggs in some cases. However, there are many ways for a baby fish to be born. For example, guppies and mollies give birth to live babies, just like people do. Other fish species have larval phases, and while they are still developing, they are pushed around by ocean currents. Often the thing that people think of as being the most characteristic trait of a fish is that they live underwater, and this is definitely the most common lifestyle for fish. But believe it or not, there are even fish that can live outside of water. Mud skippers are a unique fish that are capable of spending long periods of time on rocks, and some species even live behind vertical waterfalls and can climb on the rocks behind the water. There's even fish that are extremely invasive because of their ability to live outside of water. For example, in Florida, the northern snakehead can crawl great distances across land, and so it's almost impossible to completely remove it from any one water source because it can always travel to a new water source across land. All of this is to say that the traits which we think of as being what makes a fish have exceptions in the fish world. There are thousands of ways to be a fish, over 30,000 to be specific. This is approximately the number of different species of fish that exist, which makes fish the most diverse group of vertebrates on Earth.